Hello students, welcome back to the online classes of physics. This is your Naima Miss back with a new lesson, continuation of the lesson, that is what is inside an atom. So in our previous class we have learned that Dalton proposed a theory where he said that the atoms are a small, very small indivisible atoms. Okay, particles. Atoms are what? They are very small indivisible atoms or particles. Very small indivisible particles. They are very small indivisible particles which are not divisible further. Then they found out that there are some there are some this one possibilities that there are something there is something inside the atom which is making the atom stable. Okay, so what is that which is making them stable? Then they thought that there are some positive and negative and other charges. Okay, positive and negative and other charges which are making the atom stable. Okay, which are making the atom stable. So they wanted to find out what is that. So later they came to know that you have read about the Faraday's electrolysis experiment earlier. Other experiments on the gases were carried out in the latter part of 19th century. Scientists studied the effects of applying electric current to gases at low pressure by using discharge tubes. Other scientists did similar experiments in vacuums. In 1897, a British physicist known as Joseph John Thomson, Joseph John Thomson demonstrated on the basis of these experiments that negatively charged particles are present in the atom. Negatively charged particles are present in the atom. Negatively charged particles are present in the atom. So initially Thomson thought that the negative particles would be different for each element. But after carrying out the experiments with many different materials, he found that negatively charged particles from all the material were always identical. So that means whatever negative charged particle is present in one atom is also identical with so many other atoms. If he has taken this negatively charged particle of one of the atoms, suppose you say he has taken the negatively charged particle, for example we are taking water. Okay, he has taken the negatively charged particle of one atom. He has seen that they are also similar to the other negatively charged particles of the other atom. Okay, so he concluded that the same type of negatively charged particles are present in the all elements. Okay, atoms of all elements, the same negatively charged particle is present, and these negatively charged very small mass is now called as what it is now called as the negative charged particle of atom is called as what? Electron. What it is called? It is called as electron. This negatively charged particle, now it is called as electron. Yes, we know that. We know that this is called as electron. So now what we came to know? We came to know about the negative charge, that is we have learnt about the electrons. Okay. Now when the electrons, these are negatively charged, right? These are negatively charged. An atom is electrically neutral. We have learned it, right? But the electrons present in this are negatively charged. If only negative charges are present, the atom would not be neutral, right? So that means there must be some positive charge also. Yes, see, if only negative charge is present, will this be stable? No, it will not be stable. If the same amount of positive charge is there, then only it will considered as the stable, right? So that means there must be some positive charge also. The atoms must also contain some positively charged particles so that overall it becomes neutral or stable. What it becomes? Neutral or stable. Overall it becomes neutral or stable, right? When there is when there is no equal amount of electrons, or the positive or negative charges are not equal, that means it is not stable. So that means this subatomic particle would have a charge that balances the charge of the electrons. This subatomic particle was named as proton. What was this called as? This was called as proton. So the positive part of the positively charged particles of the atom was now called as proton, and the negatively charged particle was called as electron. In 1920, so its mass was approximately 1836 times greater than that of electrons. So what was the mass? What was the mass? Mass is nothing but what it is? It is weight. So what was the weight? It was 1826 times more than the electrons. More than the electrons. It was 1826 times more than the electrons. So it represented as, it was now, as the electrons are represented as E minus charge, the protons were represented as P plus charge, and its charge is taken as 1 unit positive. In 1932, James Chadwick discovered that yet another subatomic particle which had no charge and had mass nearly equal to that of the proton. So James he discovered something new, one more new particle which was also having positive charge, and the mass also was equal to that of the proton. It was also equal to that of the proton. It was eventually named as neutron. What it was later named it as? They named it as neutron. Later it was named as neutron. So what are the three things we have learned from the subatomic particles of the atom? Were electrons, protons and neutrons. In general, a neutron is represented as NO. So that means what have we learned? We have learned about the electrons. We have learned about the electrons that are given as minus charge because of their negatively charged, and it is represented by E minus. Then we have learned about the another subatomic particle, that is proton, which is represented as P and plus because of its positive charge. And the third particle that was known into existence was neutron, which was given as n powered 0 because it has no charge. Okay, it was also positive only. Okay, and it was given as neutron. From this discussion, we conclude that atoms are small particles called they are made up of small particles which are called as electrons, protons and neutrons. Each of these particles is described in terms of measurable properties like mass and charge. The proton and the electron have the equal and opposite electrical charges, that is positive and negative. So a neutron has no electrical charge. The mass of the electron is about 1836 times less than that of the mass of the proton and neutron. That means we can indirectly say that it is the mass of the proton and neutron is 1836 times more than that of the electrons, right? So we have learned about the subatomic particles of the atoms that were discovered by the different scientists who have worked hard, and it took them 2000 years to discover these subatomic particles, that is electrons, protons and neutrons. So as we have now come to know about that, the subatomic particles, these three are the subatomic particles. But shall we not know how these particles, atomic particles, are arranged in the atom? How they are arranged? We have these three different, like positive, negative, and no charge particles. Then how they are arranged in the atom? Because they have different charges and mass, right? So how they are arranged? Don't you get that kind of question into your mind? Yes. So let us sketch the structure of an atom as we imagine. So what we have learned about electron, proton and neutron, suppose you have to arrange them in an atom. How do you do it? Many arrangements are possible. You can take into any kind of arrangement. Think that the atom looks like a room. We can think that it looks like a room, and all the we can arrange these particles into an alternative rows. Simply we can arrange them in a rows like this: a positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, like this. We can arrange them in a row if you think it as a room. Yes. And if you feel like imagine the and draw the another atomic arrangement of these particles inside a spherical shape, keeping in a view the nature of the subatomic particles. We can do it in our we can imagine like anything. Okay. To understand the structure of atoms, the scientists developed different atomic models. So later the scientists, they have worked hard for knowing the structure of atoms, internal structure of atoms. So they have developed different atomic models also. The first model was Thomson's model of atom. So Thomas model of atom. This atomic model was proposed by J.J. Thomson. By proposed by whom? It was proposed by J.J. Thomson. It was proposed by J.J. Thomson. In the year 1898, this model was commonly known as plump pudding. What it was called as? It was called as plump pudding. It was called as plum pudding model. Referring to the way the fruit pieces are distributed throughout a plum pudding according to this model. So an atom is considered to be a sphere. Okay, we are considering it to be a sphere, and okay, an atom is considered to be a sphere of uniform positive charge, and electrons are embedded in it as shown here. How it is? It is showing that the positive electrons, positive charges are here all pure, and the negative electrons are embedded in it. For example, if you take watermelon, okay, if you take watermelon, how you see the black seeds, they are embedded somewhere here like this, right? So this, what he's saying, this is positive charges and this is the negative charges. So this is the way that the electrons and protons are arranged in the atom. The total mass of the atom is considered to be uniformly distributed throughout the atom. So whatever the mass is there, that means it is balancing. He's saying that the total mass of the atom is considered to be uniformly distributed. The negative and the positive charges are supposed to balance out, and the whole atom is electrically neutral. Fine. A more familiar, the example that represents Thomson's atomic model is watermelon. As I said, you can see the example of watermelon. The positive charges is spread throughout the atom like red part of the watermelon, So this red part, as I said already, this red part you can see that it is a positively charged atom, and the black seeds you can say that those are negatively charged electrons. So Thomson's model was modified by one of his student. His name was Rutherford, which we'll be learning in our next class. So until then, take care. Thank you for watching. If you did not understand, try to revise the videos, and after this video try to revise your textbooks also. Thank you.